In this series of video presentations, we've been looking at how you can automate Squarespace administration tasks using Selenium and C#. In the first part of our video series, we looked at what Squarespace was, what automation was, and why you'd want to consider automating tasks. In the second part of the series, we actually then went on to look at how we could use C# and Selenium to automate logging into Squarespace. In part 3, we created the digital structures we need to store attribute information that would describe a digital product, and we worked with the test repository to store and read that product information. In the last part, part 4, we used that digital repository to start the process of automating our digital product uploads, where we were uploading the attribute information. In this, part 5, the final part, we will complete the process by uploading our actual digital images, the watermarked images, the thumbnail images, and the main product image to complete our digital product upload. Remember, as always, you can download the code for this project in the link below the video if you'd like to follow along with the code yourself at the same time as I'm producing it. So let's get back to Squarespace to see what remains to be done. Right, so the only thing we have left to do is add our images. And we've got 3 images we need to add. We've got to load up our preview image, our main image, and I think under options we have to add a thumbnail image. So we've got to add 3 images. So let's just inspect this element. And here you can see we've got an input type, which is file. Now if we've got an input type of file, we can send that text. Let's go to product uploading. Let's inspect this element. And here we've got another input type of file. And if we go to options, this is probably a 3rd input type of file. Yes, so we've got 3 file inputs which we can use to add images. And I assume it probably come in order. We can test it to see if we're in the right order. And when all those 3 images are loaded up, we need to click on the save and publish or save button. And then we're done loading our product. The question is, how do we know when our images are loaded? Because we don't want to click on the save button too early. Otherwise, we won't be able to save our product. So if I go to add a file and choose a product file, now as that's loading, you'll see that I can't save this or save and publish this until the image is loaded. So we need to know somehow when the image is loaded. Now there are 3 images to load, but the preview and the thumbnail will be small, so really this is the image we want to load. Now there are several strategies we could work with here. We could just wait a certain time, the way we did for our wait seconds, or we could try to look for some indication that will get an indication that the file has actually been loaded, which is much better because if we set a fixed time and the internet is bad, it may be that our image is not loaded and we try to press this button and we'll get denied as we have here, and then we'll get the same error we've just been seeing where it goes to try load the next product and it's looking for elements in the web page, but it can't see them because this dialog is still open. So if we did it by just giving a fixed wait, that process would be quite fragile in cases where we fail to load up the image in time. And also if we've got a very good internet, we will run into a situation where we've loaded the image in say 5 seconds, but we still have to sit and wait for 30 seconds before we can go on to the next product. And so it will take us a very long time to load up all our products. So fixed waits aren't that great in that way. Much better is if we can identify something that shows that the image is loaded. And actually one thing we can see here is when the image is loaded, we've got a name there. So I wonder if we can do anything with that. It'd be nice if we could see something with my product. So let's just expand these items and look. Here we have something which is SQS file preview. What happens if we expand that? There we can see we've got something which says my product PNG. And it's a class file meta, so we can search for this class and search for the name of our image, and if we find that, that will only appear after the image is loaded. Okay, so where are we? We've got 3 tasks. We've got 3 image file inputs, which we have to add. So let's find the classes for those. We'll go to item again and inspect. Let's copy that element. These 3 inputs we've got to find, and we've got to send it the image data. And then we've got to wait until we see the file name. And that we saw under SQS file preview here. And when we see our file name, we know it's loaded, and then we can click on the save button. Let's just and there we've got our save button. So we need to click on that. Okay, so let's take these into Visual Studio and see if we can work through the last bit we need for our add digital product. Okay, we're back in Visual Studio. Let's just stop the debugger where it was. And we'll just paste in our facts. Okay, first of all, our image inputs. There should be 3 of them. File, upload, form input. And here we're going to search for elements by a CS selector. And the tag type was input, which you can see here. And it also has a type file. And that probably should be good enough to find it, I would imagine. Just close the square tag on that. So this should find our 3 form elements, and then we just need to upload them. So we'll take the first element in that array, and we want to send keys, the image data, or the path for our file. It's actually the path for our file that we're loading up. So we send it our digital product. The first one will be the watermark, the preview image. And then the next one will be our main image. And the third one will be our thumbnail image. And these inputs will then send our different paths, which will be loaded up. And then we want to check until the image is loaded. Actually, we can maybe do a custom method here. So we're going to wait for image. And when that's finished, we then save the product. And we have a very specific class here, so we can probably just find element by class. Save and close. And we want to click on that. And then we should probably have a few wait for 2 seconds. Not doing anything before we carry on. Okay, so obviously we want to wait for something. And we had a wait situation before. Here you can see we had a wait for class. But in this case, we want to have something a little bit more complex because we're not just waiting for a class name, we're waiting for a class name which has the text of the image file. So let's wait for class and text. And here we will have a safe find with the by and also the text. So we need to create safe find with text. We need to create that method, which would be roughly the same. And here we will search for an iWeb element. Try for the find element by whatever we send in, where we can use first. Where the element has the right text. And we return that web element. Now if it can't find it, it will generate an exception which will return null. And this should return iWeb element. So we can use our waiting method here in our load image. Now the class defined will always be the same. We have that from our text here. It's file meta. Which is fine, but the image name, we can grab it from the watermarked. We can use the path methods. It's fine, just pluck out the image name at the end. So if we call this image name is equal to path we did not add a reference to system.io. Use get file name, give it the full main product image file path. Now that we have that file name, we can wait for it. So let's send that into our wait for image loaded image name. What is wrong with this? We should have the time we're willing to wait in seconds. So let's wait for 10 minutes max, so 600 seconds. Okay, so we find our input form items, we send in the file names, and then we wait for it to be loaded, and then we click save and close. Let's see if this works. Okay, here we are ready to do our uploads. So let's go one step, and there we found our 3 forms. And if we look at our file path, it'll send our 3 images. And I just want to check and see how our image name would come out. Are we getting the right text? Yes, we're getting my product.png. So, and then we're waiting for the image to load. And as you can see, these items are loading. And we're almost loaded. So let's see if our method works. And we come out, once the image was loaded, we came out of our wait for image method. And now we should just come down to the save and close to click product. So let's just set that going. And it's pressed the button, and here we go. We've created our product. And we've come into load the next product, and you can see we perhaps need to give it some more time. So, but it looks like we're successful in loading our first product here. And we can see we've got our watermarked image. We've got our main image. We've got our thumbnail image. We've got the name and description. We've got our pricing. Everything looks good, and I even pressed the save button. We probably just need to give it time for it to save before we go and click on the button again. So let's just increase this to give it a bit longer time. And then we can rerun our test. So we come to our web page, we go to inventory, we wait a bit longer now, and then we should add product. Go to our shop, choose a digital product, fill in our title, fill in our description, fill in our tags. We should go then and start clicking onto the next tab to add our pricing and sale price. Then we should add our images. Now we're starting to load our images, and we're loading our other images, the preview and the thumbnail. When it's finished, it should click on the save button. It does. And then we should wait a bit, and then we should try clicking on the add product button again. And we can see it's having a problem finding this XPath. It goes all the way down to the button. So let's see if we can find a different XPath which will work better. Or maybe we can find it by a CSS element instead, where we're using the title and the class. Let's try that. So up here is where we're clicking on the add button. We're going to try it by CSS instead. And we've got two different classes here. Let's just try the button first. So instead of clicking by XPath, we're going to find element by CSS selector. And we know that the type is a button there, and we've also got a title. So let's set title equals add. And we could set also type equals button. And we want to click on that. So let's run our test again and see if it works better. We don't need to stress too much if one particular method, finding an element, doesn't work. There are always other ways to find the same elements. So hopefully this is our completed code now. So let's just run our test. We should have all our elements in place. And I'm just going to keep the mouse at the top of the screen so you can see that I'm not touching stuff or doing anything except where I explicitly say I'm doing it. So our Selenium should start up a web browser. It should maximize the window. And you can see my mouse cursor is up here. It should click on the login button for the Squarespace page after having loaded it. It will then enter our username and our password and click on the login button. Now we come to this bit we still have to do manually. I have to enter my authentication code 32323, and then I click on the login button, and now I move the mouse back up to the top again because I don't have to do anything else. Hopefully I can go away. It's opened up our website. When the website is loaded, the management portal, it should take us to inventory, and then it should hopefully now add a new product by clicking on the add product button up in the corner. And now we choose our correct shop page and we choose our digital product. It should give us a title and a description. It should add some tags for Stickman in a hat. It should go to pricing and upload tabs, the tab there, and it should add a main price and a sale price, and then it should start loading up images. Now I'm not going to change the tabs to check if we've got a preview and a thumbnail just yet because I want to keep my mouse off to the side of the screen. Now the program should be checking to see if the elements are there to prove that the image is fully uploaded. And so when this image is fully uploaded now, it should then automatically go and click on the save button. Once the products are all uploaded, we can check and see if the thumbnails and previews are there as they should be. So now hopefully it'll press the save button and it's saved the product, Stickman a hat. We should go to the next Stickman night product. So hopefully it will click on the plus add product button, and it does. It chooses the shop again, chooses a digital product. Now this should be the Dark Knight Returns, yes, our second product, our second description, and it should have different tags. Helmet, that's good. And then it should go to our pricing and give it a different price. And then it should start loading up the second set of images. So far, so good. And again, our program should wait until the image is fully uploaded. And we're almost there, we're almost loaded. And hopefully it will save this product as well. And it's saving it. Now we've got 2 now. And it should go to the add product button again. And it's going to the shop and it's choosing a digital product. And now we should have the third product. Yes. And some extra tags. Should be something about archery. Bow. Yeah. And the price and the sale price. And it's loading up a new image. And this should be our third and final product. But of course, we could then run the program with our full 1,000 products, and I could just run all night and load them up one after one. And we hopefully will save this product as well. And there we have our 3 products, and the program should be complete. And we can just check here and see if we've got, this is the preview, the watermark, we've got the main product, and under here we've got a thumbnail, which is what you're seeing there. And the same for this. The preview, the main product, and the thumbnail. The preview, the main product, and the thumbnail. And actually, I guess these thumbnails really shouldn't have a watermark on them. I'll need to speak to our marketing department. But you can see now we've got a totally automated system that loads up product after product once we have logged in. The only manual element left here is a one-time action of entering our authentication code. And as I mentioned previously, if we wished, we could actually even automate that bit. maybe we can do that at a later date. So we have our automated administrative tasks, and because they are separated into things like log in Squarespace, load inventory, we can use this for very flexibly for other tasks than just adding digital images. We might want to, for example, update the metadata on our images. So we might want to go through each of our products and add metadata to help our search engine optimization. And this is the kind of task that would be perfect since we have 1,000 products, the type of thing we might want to automate. We might want to change our metadata every now and again, depending on how Google updates its search engine rules. So there, I think we'll leave it. As I said before, this code is in GitHub, which you can download and look at yourself if you want to try it out. And I thank you for your attention. I hope you found this useful.